Hi, it's Richard from In the Box Productions. I hope you're having a great day. Welcome to tutorial number 5. Today we're going to be looking at chopping up vocals and working on the intro here. So what I want to do is start by inserting a couple of software instruments and then add the sampler, the onboard sampler to them. Then import some videos that have audio that I want to use. Separate the audio from the video when I import it, and then start sampling parts of the audio and then incorporate them into this track. Just have a check of this, see how this is sounding. So that's quite funky. So let's start by 2 software instruments. Just create straight here. Start with 2. There you go. Go straight to the instrument. The XS24 sampler in stereo. Now that has installed 2 of them. So for the moment, let's start with the first one. If I do this, this will change with the channel. So let's close that for now. Let's bring in a sample of Ella. So just close up that window for now. We'll bring her in here. Now when I bring a video in, it will ask us if I want to open the movie in the session. I don't want the movie, I just want the audio. So extract the audio. That was now put my audio up the top, but it's locked here. This is something you need to know, because if you don't know this, you'll be stuck. You won't be able to move your audio. You have to unlock the SMPTE position, which is the time code for synchronizing to external movie devices or analog multi-track recorders. Now we've got the audio in, let's solo that and have a listen to it. Let's just open it up. There's quite some peaks here. I think this is... There you can hear. You can hear my dad talking in the background. I think we can take this little bit here at the beginning. It's funny. So what I'm going to do is just cut this here. This is really cool, because if you cut this and just drag this into the sampler, it would just create a sample of the part that I've created. So I'll start talking at the end. So what we do is cut here. Now I'm going to show you something pretty funky here as well. See this here? When I move across here, this now does different functions, okay? So if I cut here, for example here, just double click. I don't even have to bring up my secondary tool, because I've programmed this to be here, here, this appears in the bottom, this in the top where the yellow part is, and here if I go like this, this does a fade automatically, but I don't want to fade. But this function you activate by going into Preference, General, Editing. So like pointer tools in tracks provides fade tool, click zones, marquee tool, click zone. But I've got these 2 here activated. So this, what this does now, gives me the choice of a fade here, or here in the lower half it gives me the marquee tool automatically, and on each corner different functions as well. So I've now cut this here. Okay, what we're going to do, scroll down to my sampler here, open it up, and then we open up the edit window here. So when we open up this window, you can see we've got this keyboard zone here, and if we just pull in the sample into this window, just drag it in like this, it will then spread itself across the keyboard. And we can also alter the length of this zone by changing here the notes by dragging them up and down, or simply just putting the blue bar across to select our zone. But we won't be doing that for now, because I want to keep the samples across the board. So if we go down and actually click on the keyboard, we can hear the sample. So what we're going to do now is close this. It will automatically ask us to save it. So I'll save this as Ella Vox sample, and that will save the sample as well. And now we've got this here in my sampler. So all I've got to do now is rename this Ella Vox sample, and then we're ready to play that out. There's some functions here that are functions like a synthesizer, so you can actually work on the sound itself and play around and modify the sound, and we can hopefully come up with something funny. Now I'm going to do the same thing here and import this fridge sound, so we don't need the movie, just have the audio here. Now as you see, I can't move it. It won't let me move it because it's locked, so be careful here when you go up to this to unlock it, and then pull that across again here to the beginning. Now I've got this here as kind of like a so we don't need the whole sound. Let's just maybe take a part of it here, and if I just move this across, there you go. Now let's go back to my sampler here, open it up, click on edit again, and then just pull this in. Then we got it here. So that's great. So we'll do the same there. Save that. Save as fridge sound. There you go. Now that's saved as well. So now we can mute these two tracks because we keep them in the background. I've also got a vocal of a woman shouting at her phone, but I'm not sure if I'm going to use that for now. Let's just start with these here and see how we get on. Now that we've got our two samples loaded up into the Logic sampler, let's take a look at what we can do here. Now you have the filter here. If you turn it on, you can hear if I play like a classic filter. Play around with that, get it even more. Play with the attack. The release of it as well. So that's cool. Got LFO, different functions there as well. We've also got the tune. You can tune it and slide as well, which is cool, which you can go from one note to another like this. If I put in hit my toolbox, so go T on the keyboard, go to pencil, just put in a couple of things here so we can see what we're doing on the keyboard. Open up there, then you can see what I'm playing here. So you can see the glide. So you've got a lot of possibilities here to play around with the sound. Here we've got this rhythms kind of sound thing going on. Tune this to the actual track itself, see what it sounds like for a laugh. So I found out that if I play the A sharp, that's kind of in tune, it's in sync with it, and yeah, it's actually, we were lucky we didn't even need to tune it to get it. We can play with this as well. I reversed it here. They've got a high, instead of a low pass, which is this, got a high pass, which means it's the opposite. So I can actually play here. That we can just record that and see what it sounds like. Let's quantize that. Make them shorter slightly. Close that. You can see we've got the velocity here. If we go and choose it in our automation window here, then we can bring up to the top each note, or select everything by doing Command A and then bringing everything at the same time to the top. Just make this one a little bit longer. Now we've got this vocal part here as well we can play around with. So let's just bring the slide and take it up maybe an octave. Stop that. Take off the metronome as well, we don't need that for now. So if I play around with this, we can try and find a melody. Even maybe higher. Just have a listen to this. As you can see, I've made this bigger. You can make this synth really big, which you can't do with third-party plugins, but with the plugins in Logic itself, you can make them quite big. So what I could do is just have a little bit of slide on that here. So let's see what that sounds like. Let's hit R on the keyboard. That. So here we have a loop that's quite good here. We can just maybe bring up the velocity on some of this here. Open up our velocity here again. This one's a bit low. I don't want to keep it completely flat, have a bit of movement in there. So I've got no overlap here, so if I copy this down, this will just replace that. Okay. Now we've got our melody, we've got a bass line, we've got drums. Now we can start working on this intro part here by copying these back down, which is this here. We got, so let's go back to our original track, and we got like a see that reverse thing. We'll be working on that soon, the reverse effect. So here we got the vocal, we won't need to bring that until here. So we have a little melody, we have an intro. Now what we're going to work on is the reverse reverb thing for the vocal here at the beginning that comes in here as well. And we've nearly got our intro. We start looking at effects on that as well. Obviously this is going to transform because the sound of it is quite dull. I want to make it, start compressing, EQing that, putting some effects on it and make that really fat. That's going to sound pretty funky, well, pretty cool, pretty, well, whatever you want really. But we've already got a rough idea where we're going. So like, subscribe, and I'll see you in the next tutorial. And don't forget to leave some comments.